Hello students, let us learn General Science for class 8 from the book Science Square. Today we are going to learn cell, structure and function. In this chapter we are going to discuss about the discovery of cell, its shape, size and different parts and functions of the cell. Let us begin the chapter. What is meaning of cell? Cells are the same basic structural and functional unit of life. They may be compared to the assembled bricks. All organisms are made up of cells. The size of the cell varies from 1 to 100 micrometer. Cells are produced by the division of pre-existing cell. Each cell has some genetic material which is passed down during reproduction process. Cells in the living organisms are complex living structures. All basic chemical and physiological functions like repairing, growth, excretion, movement, immunity, communication and digestion all takes place only in the cells. Discovery of cell. In 1665, the English scientist Robert Hooke observed slices of cork under a simple magnifying device. He noticed partition boxes or compartments in the cork slice. The picture shows the cork cell as observed by Robert Hooke through a magnifying device. These boxes look like a honeycomb. He noticed that these boxes were separated from other by a wall. He named these boxes as cell. He also observed that cells in the cork were actually dead cells, which appeared as a honeycomb. Cell theory. The cell theory was proposed by German botanist Matthias Jakob Scheliden and the German physiologist Theodor Schwann in 1838. It was formalized by the German researcher Rudolf Virchow in 1858. Do remember the names of the botanist and physiologist who proposed this cell theory: Scheliden and Schwann. Types of cell. Organisms made of more than one cell are called multicellular organisms. And organisms with billions of cells begin life as a single cell. That cell is a fertilized egg. The fertilized egg cell multiplies and increases in the number as the development proceeds. The single cell organisms are called unicellular organisms. It performs all necessary functions that multicellular organs perform. Amoeba is a unicellular organism. Paramecium is also a unicellular organism. Shape of cells. Generally, the shape of cells are round, spherical or elongated. The spherical shape shown in the picture is a red blood cells. The spindle shaped cells is a muscle cell. The long branched cell is a nerve cell. Some types of cells are long and pointed at both the ends, exhibiting spindle shape. Some type of cells are branched like a nerve cell or neuron, which receives and transfers messages for helping to control and coordinate the working of different parts of the body. The components of the cells are enclosed in a membrane, which provides shape to the cells of the plants and animals. The cell wall is present in the plant cell that gives shape and rigidity to the cells. Cell structure and function. Each organ in the living organisms performs different functions, such as digestion, assimilation, and absorption. Similarly, different organs of a plant perform particular and specialized function. For example, roots helps in absorption of water and minerals. Each organ is further divided into smaller parts. We call that as a tissue. A tissue is a group of similar types of cells which perform a particular function. The basic components of the cell are three main parts, that is, cell membrane, cytoplasm, and nucleus. Size of cells. The size of the cell in living organisms may be small as millionth of meter or may be as large as few centimeters. Most of the cells are microscopic in size and are not visible to the naked eye. The smallest cell is zero point 0.1 to zero point 0.5 micrometer in bacteria. The largest cell is the egg of an ostrich, which is 170 into 130 mm in size. The size of the cells has no relation with the size of the body of the plant or an animal. Cell membrane. The cytoplasm and the nucleus are enclosed within the cell membrane. Cell membrane is also called as plasma membrane. It is the living part of the cell. It is thin, delicate, and elastic, which gives shape to the cell. This membrane separates the cells from one another and also the cell from the surrounding medium. It is selectively permeable and allows flow of limited substances in and out of the cell. In addition to the cell membrane, an outer thicker layer in the cells of the plants called cell wall is present. The cell wall helps the plant protection against variations in temperature, wind speed, atmospheric moisture, etc. The cells can be observed in leaf peel of Elodia or Royo. Cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is a jelly-like substance present between the cell membrane and the nucleus. Various other components or organelles such as mitochondria, ribosomes, Golgi bodies are present in the cytoplasm. Nucleus. It is a very important component of the living cell. It is dense and spherical organ located in the center of the cell. It is separated from the cytoplasm by a membrane called nuclear membrane. This membrane is porous and allows the movement of the particle materials between the cytoplasm and inside the nucleus. It consists of nucleolus, a thread-like structure called chromosomes. The chromosomes carry genes. The genes helps in the inheritance or transfer of characters from parents to the offspring. The chromosomes can be seen only when the cell begins to divide. The genes contains genetic codes which are responsible for the unique physical character of an animal or a plant. Nucleus act as a control center of the cell activities. The entire content of the living cell is known as protoplasm. The protoplasm consists of cytoplasm and the nucleus. So, nucleus indirectly controls all the metabolic activities of the cell. Nucleus is a storehouse of genes because without nucleus, cells can neither survive nor show specialized activities. Classification of organisms. Based on the nucleus, the organisms are classified into prokaryotes and eukaryotes. The cells having nuclear material without nuclear membrane are termed as prokaryotic cell. For example, bacteria and blue-green algae has nucleus but without nuclear membrane. The cells having well-organized nucleus with a nuclear membrane are known as eukaryotic cells. Example, all other organisms other than bacteria and blue-green algae are eukaryotic cells. Cell organelles. There is a blank structure in the cytoplasm of the plant, both animals and animal plants. These are known as vacuoles. Large vacuoles are common in plant cells, while it is much smaller in animal cells. There are several small colored bodies scattered in the cytoplasm of the plant cell. We call these as plastids. Some of them contains green pigment known as chlorophyll. The green colored plastids are called chloroplasts. These chloroplasts provide green color to the leaves. Plant cell versus animal cell. The structure shows the cell wall is absent in the animal cell. Vacuole occupying the center position in the plant cell. Vacuole is bigger in the plant cell while it is smaller in the animal cell. Nucleus is centrally positioned in the animal cell. In addition to cell membrane, plants also got cell wall. Chloroplast is specific only to the plant cell and it is absent in the animal cell. Let us now compare plants and the animal cell. Plant cells have cell wall surrounding the cell membrane. Animals have only a membrane. Plant cell contains chloroplast, which is absent in the animal cell. Plant cells have a large vacuole, while the animal cells have small vacuole. Plants possess cell wall, which is present in the outer india, along with the plasma membrane. It helps in the rigidity of the plant. Animal cells do not have a cell wall and hence animals are not rigid. Let us have a chapter recap. All organisms are made up of smaller parts called organs. The smallest living part of an organism is a cell. Cells were first observed in the cock by Robert Hooke in 1665. The number of cells, size of the cell, shape of the cell varies from organisms to organism. The cell has three main parts, namely cell membrane, cytoplasm, and the nucleus. The cytoplasm contains smaller components called cell organelles. Nucleus is separated from cytoplasm by a nuclear membrane. Plant cells differ from the animal cell in having cell wall, chloroplast, and big central vacuole. This ends the chapter.